Hey guys, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here, and today we're talking about America's internet because much of America's internet is about to get a very serious upgrade, assuming some things happen here, and this is what's going on. Now, this is coming from Ars Technica, and it is quite frankly some excellent reporting here, and the U.S. House of Representatives on July 1st, 5 days ago, approved a $100 billion broadband funding package as part of the $1.5 trillion infrastructure bill. Now, the broadband portion is modeled after the Democrats' universal fiber plan, and this plan includes $80 billion in 2021 fiscal year, and this is money that the FCC would then use to fund high-speed broadband infrastructure projects in unserved or underserved areas. That's right. They are looking at bringing fiber and high-speed internet to rural areas or communities that have little to no broadband whatsoever. And so these funded projects would have to provide 100 megabits of download and upload speed along with low latencies. And these are the conditions that would spur essentially fiber to home development. And so hopefully the rest of the country that doesn't have a good broadband might be able to get this. Now, in addition to the federal funding for broadband networks with speeds of at least 100 megabit, the bill would eliminate state laws that prevent the growth of municipal broadband. There are currently 19 states with restrictive laws that prevent that. And so the Claiborne legislation, which was part of this, it's known as the Accessible Affordable Internet for All Act, targets those 19 states with those restrictions. The bill would also have a dig once requirement that says fiber to fiber conduit must be installed, and I quote, as part of any covered highway construction project in states that receive federal highway funding. The bill would also overturn state laws that prohibit or have the effect of prohibiting, again, municipal broadband networks. But here's the thing with this whole thing. This actually passed the House of Representatives, and that House of Representatives is currently being controlled by the Democratic Party, and this bill was essentially passed almost along a party line vote. The overall bill passed by a vote of 233 to 188, but the broadband provisions were actually were one of the amendments, and they actually passed with a 234 to 178 vote. Obviously, more people abstaining from that vote. However, the Senate is run by the Republicans, and this bill is not expected to pass that in its current form. It is possible that some of the broadband portions will become law through, the compromise that the Republicans and the Democrats will have to create in order to get this through. But we have seen a lot of technology and infrastructure bills, as well as a plethora of cybersecurity bills, especially those focusing on the 2020 election, being stalled or killed in the Senate, even when they are passing the House. And on top of this, another Democratic bill is possibly providing $50 a month of broadband credits to American citizens, $75 a month in tribal lands, and these are for people who have been laid off or furloughed as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. And so here are my thoughts on this. I'm typically not one for adding more government anything. However, I think infrastructure is beyond important here. Infrastructure is what helps grows our economy. It also brings access to education and opportunity, which basically means more people can start really helping, let's say, the tech economy or the gig economy in a way that they previously didn't have access to. I think these are the kinds of infrastructures in the same way that we should be building roads to allow our trucks to move, whatever produce or commerce needs to be. This is another one of those very, very critical things. In this day and age, the internet isn't optional anymore. It's really not. It's our primary mode of communication for access of information from banking to education, entertainment, and everything else. And having such a large gap between communities is akin to creating and sustaining the same thing as a wealth gap, which makes it harder for those on the wrong side of the gap to really improve their lives in whatever aspect of their life that needs improving. And so it's by virtue of this that I think the internet is actually a utility and should have that kind of protection in the same way that a telephone does, because we have moved and evolved past just regular telephone communication, even though we still use it. You are watching me or listening to me on the internet, and this is exactly what I am talking about here. And so we have a serious divide in this country. It's not just over politics, which, I've seen the polling data recently. There is absolutely a divide there, but we have a divide in this area as well, which is lack of access to opportunity. I believe in an equal starting line. I don't necessarily believe in an equal finish, but I think this broadband bill, especially if everybody in the United States could get access to 100 megabit, upload and download speed at a minimum, starts to equalize that because it gives everybody the chance to, let's say, learn a skill, improve, communicate, and apply for a job across the country in the same way. If you don't have internet, you can't really do. So I'm very keen to see this pass and go through. I am not a huge fan, again of government bloat in this, but infrastructure is infrastructure, and it's one of those things I think that a country needs to provide so that we can thrive. A rising tide raises all boats. I really do believe that, and so that is your news of the day. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP, and please feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube as well. And as always, stay safe and stay online. Thanks, everyone.